Hi, it's me again with laser tips and tricks. I just made a sign for my church, and HOG stands for Happy Old Guys Serving. It's a group of gentlemen that meet at the church every Wednesday and mow grass, and these are the people who either passed on or moved on, and they wanted a board to continue. These letters are raised off the whiteboard. The whiteboard I painted with milk paint and purposely left it thin to kind of look at age of the board. But I thought I'd show you a few tricks how to place the letters correctly. So what I did, I had the file. I made my table size the size of the wood, which is 40 by 24. I am going to right now just move this out of the way. Let me set my nudge factor on like 40 inches. And I'm going to move this out of the way so it won't get in the way. And I had I had a piece of MDF, and I cut the MDF to this size. Don't really need it all. You could cut it down. As a matter of fact, I did. But I'm going to left click, right click, and there's your letters that you're going to cut out. So you cut the letters out and then you remove them from the MDF. But I'm going to use this same piece of wood for a template to lay the letters on the board. And luckily I have a big bed. It was 40 inches. So I'm going to draw a line holding down the control button, and I'm going to make it 40 inches. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to place one line like right there. I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate. I'm going to bring another one in and put it like right there. I'm going to Control D and put another one right there, but I also need to split up that wordage. And I didn't hold down the control button, so it's not perfect. So let me move this one by holding down the control button. And holding down the control button, it'll be perfect. And then Control D again. So the letters are gone, and I just cut these 4 lines. Now also, to make the letters stand off the wood, I took pieces of, I guess I deleted that. I just took, I sized up the letters and I made like a 1/2 inch disc out of MDF, and I placed how many I need. Like on this H, I would suggest you put 4. On the O, I would actually put 4. So you won't get any wiggle and a lot stronger. The G, I would put maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the S, the same thing. I would just glue them on. So that way the letters are a 1/2 inch, or excuse me, a 1/4 inch of the thickness of the wood off the wood. And then on the smaller letters, I took that same disc, but I made it just a 1/4 inch. The only kind of a problem with this is it might fall through your vector bed. Now the smaller letters might not need as many, but I would cut out and figure out, like the A, I'd make 3. On the M, I'd make 4. On the E, I would probably do maybe just 3, 1, 2, 3. The F, 1, 2, 3, or maybe even 4. And just kind of think about that. Then put you some blue painter's tape and use quite a bit of it so it'll stay together, because we've cut all the way through it. And I would put, quite a bit of tape. And then take it out of your laser bed, and you can see my tape here. And then that way I was able to place the letters exactly where they need to go. So I don't have to worry about it being square. I don't have to worry about it, whatever. Now, one word of warning, I didn't really realize it till after I had glued it down. I had a little bit of trouble. And I took this, I'm fortunate enough to have a full shop, and I was able to take this MDF and actually sand it down to like 1/8 of an inch, because I didn't need the full thickness, and then that way it wouldn't interfere with my letters. The only thing I kind of, just a word of warning, like the H wouldn't be bad, but like if the O, you might have trouble getting the wood out. Maybe on the G, like right here. Well, first of all, you wouldn't put that line. Well, it wouldn't matter. Because that's not, what the wood's going to look like is let me do it in like another color. The wood's going to actually, that you're going to take out there is going to, I got some leaks, but it's going to be just this part. So you got to think about when you get it apart. It wasn't that big of a problem, but if you have your spacers and you try to pull it out, that's why I put the middle lines to kind of break it up. And then I thought you've got a piece of wood, you take it out of your laser. On the nameplates, I wanted them, let's just do this. I wanted them like let's put it right on the edge, and let's make another one and put it on the edge. I'm holding down the control button. I didn't quite get there to the edge. And holding down the control button. And as you can see, I wanted 6 across. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 across. So I took my blend tool and I went to effects and blend, and I blended them 5 times because we've already got 2. That spaced them out I made a mistake right there. I don't want to do that. Let's back up here. I actually want them like 3/4 of an inch off the edge. So I'm going to set my nudge factor on 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to nudge that one in and this one in. And then I'm going to blend it that 5 times. And there's your spacing. Now, 100% honesty, I made the gap or the hole a little bit bigger, as you can see on the edges. So I made my slots a little bit bigger, but it worked because I'm using 1/8 inch alder here, and this is 1/4 inch MDF. So it's going to come out. It just might be a little bit tight, but you could, before you cut it, because you don't need this for that. So let's just do that. Let's make the hole a little bit bigger. Let's take this and go up to object and contour. I wouldn't want to, I don't want to contour. I only want one side a little bit bigger, so I'm going to make this 5.1 and make this one 5.1. That way you can get the piece of wood out. Actually did make it a little bit bigger. It's 2.55, which would actually work perfectly. And then I just did that. And then what I actually do, so this is actually 5.55. So I want 5.55 plus 1/4, 2.55. So I changed, without even getting out a calculator, 2.55 plus 7.5 is going to be my new nudge factor. And then I'm going to hit the plus key, and there's I don't have to do that. I don't have to make but 2. As you can see in my hold down jig, I just have the 1/4 inches here. This doesn't really matter because you're going to base the next one off the bottom of the name tags. So here's your 1/4 inch offset. And you don't have, you're not going to use my figures. You're just going to use something that looks good. And then all I did to make the piece of wood, the laser is not going to cut this line. So what I did, I made a rectangle. This is probably the easiest way to do it. And like I said, you don't have to go all the way to there. But the laser cannot cut off this ruler on this side. So take your shape tool. First of all, turn it into a curve. Go to object, turn it into curve. Take your shape tool, grab both those. Matter of fact, you can grab them all. And then right click and break it apart. And then take your virtual segment delete key and delete that line and delete that line. And then that's all you need. And then, of course, you can't cut this line. So I'm going to take the whole thing and nudge it down 1/4 of an inch. And actually, well, let's look at my jig. Yeah, see, I've only got one notch. So what I would maybe suggest doing would be you're really just using a line. We could probably grab this line and just move it up, holding down the control button. Because I didn't get both of them. Get both your nodes. So instead of using a rectangle, maybe next time I'd just use a line. And just delete all these. And that's your jig. You know, here's a 3/4 of an inch down. So it's 3/4 of an inch, you know, from here to here. And then it's 3/4 of an inch from there to there. And and it doesn't matter. I mean, I just happened to do 40 inches. If you had a sign that was 32 inches, you could just make this thing 32 inches and cut those out. You know, one word of warning, don't go, so I didn't nudge it down the 1/4 of an inch. Don't go with that the board is square. Have the laser cut this line. Have the laser cut this line. Because if your board isn't in there square, you're not going to use that as a good reference point. This way you know this line is square with your object. And then you just lay it on your wood at the edge. And I even marked it because I'm going to have to use this in the future to add people's name. I put top left. So I know that the spacing is here and not here. It came out really good. I think the church is going to be happy with it. They're going to hang it in the hog shed where they keep all their tools. And then I actually screwed down the wood instead of gluing it. I just think it looks better because I wouldn't be able to screw them down, or I wouldn't be able to glue them down later. But this way I could I'm keeping the jig, you know, I'm keeping this part, and I'm even keeping the screws taped to this jig hanging on my wall. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.